apartment. They have no idea. Young girl, brutally murdered.
And more than 3 decades later, another life is on the line.
Tonight, a man who swears he's innocent is on death row. Did you know, were you aware that Shelley Bojo was murdered?
No, you guys got the wrong guy.
And the clock is ticking. James Daly's death warrant could be signed by the Florida governor at any minute.
Change my ways.
And his lawyers are working desperately to prove his innocence and keep him alive.
There was no evidence at all. The evidence that they had was the word of a fraud.
They said James Daly had said she wouldn't die, she wouldn't shut up. Do we believe that?
Attorneys say he's on death row because of this man, an infamous jailhouse snitch who claims James Daly confessed to him. So not only are you taking the word of a con man, you're taking the word of a child molester. And yet you put him on the stand. Were you scared of it?
Very. I was terrified.
Oh wait, hold on, I think I'm bigger.
He says that you are the reason that he's on death row. He said the reason he's on death row is because you lied.
I've never been here because I'm so scared of it. So it's over here. This is where she went to heaven. And the reason I came down is because I feel like everybody's sitting in purgatory waiting for this to get justice. I believe that. And that's why I brought holy water down to put in the water. Are you guys gonna be offended if I get on my knees?
Not at all.
Okay, because this is how I feel about it. I hope she feels free now. How could somebody kill a little girl and just leave him in the water? What drives somebody to do that? The devil. An evil, evil person.
She put up a fight to end all fights.
Fighting them off of her as hard as she could.
She had over 30 stab wounds, many, many defensive wounds.
Her hands were up like this, probably saying, stop, stop, stop. He's coming in with the knife, and it goes right through.
It was just her, and she fought back. That's why she was stabbed so many times. She was trying to live, and you just think about that girl all alone.
I think about this a lot. What was she feeling? How scared was she? She was screaming.
She was probably wanting her dad. She was probably wanting to go home. She was probably thinking this cannot be happening to me. They didn't stop until it was over. They didn't stop. They didn't care.
She was dragged into the water. She was held down until she drowned.
She was in the water all night long. Herself. Dead.
In Rochester Beach, it's a very small little community, right on the intercoastal waterways, not heavily populated, sleepy town. Lovely area, I might say, lovely area.
It was everything that you would think Florida should be. We had the palm trees, we had the sun, beautiful weather all year round, and the beaches were phenomenal. White sandy beaches.
A lot of tourists. And a lot of transplants. People just looking for a change in life. Running away from something or running to something. I mean, that's Florida.
Well, a bridge tender actually discovered the body in the water. There's a bridge tender house on the bridge, and there's a bridge tender that sits up there all the time to open the drawbridge when boats want to pass through the intercoastal waterway.
So what happened was the bridge tender reported to duty, and he got up to the top of the bridge.
He looked over the side of the bridge and saw something in the water.
Down by the shoreline. But he wasn't quite sure what it was.
And went down and investigated, and sure enough, it was a body.
He was so upset, because it was a young body.
She was found floating naked.
Just a secluded area, a beachy area where I guess people go parking and that kind of thing, you know, like a lover's lane kind of thing.
It's right near the bridge, and there's nothing else there, and that's how it was discovered. Then he called the police.
Police department, they have no idea. Young girl, brutally murdered.
I've covered a lot of murder, and generally police and prosecutors are really happy to talk about the cases they've solved, but not this one. But one of the few people who is willing to talk with us about this case is a former prosecutor named Robert Heyman. This murder happens. How big of a deal was it here in Pinellas County?
You know, in my career, I handled dozens of first-degree murders. I mean, this was probably, really without a doubt, the most brutal one that I had seen and handled personally.
A murder these days is kind of commonplace. I mean, it doesn't get a lot of attention. But back then, murders weren't all that common in Pinellas County. It received a lot of publicity and a lot of interest, both from the press and the public.
That type of viciousness, that type of brutality would keep any detective, any prosecutor up at night.
She had no ID, so they didn't know who this girl was. Here are some of the newspaper clippings.
It says, police are still seeking identity of murdered woman. Another one from the Tampa Bay Times. The murdered woman floating nude in the intercoastal waterway Monday morning still has not been identified. She was in her late teens or early 20s.
5'7", weighed about 120 pounds, and had
brown hair and green eyes. She was wearing a small silver ring.
Small silver ring with a turquoise stone.
Turquoise stone in the shape of an eagle.
In the shape of an eagle.
This case begins with a mystery. Who is this young woman in the water? That is soon going to be solved, but the next question is, who did it? Now, some people say we still don't have the right answer to that, even now, 35 years later. And at this moment, another life is on the line.
They had no idea who this body belonged to. Could have been anybody, could have come from anywhere.
There are few clues as to who she is or who killed her. Now, the medical examiner does determine the time of death somewhere between 1:30 and 3:30 a.m. early that morning. It takes nearly 48 hours, but the victim is eventually identified.
The naked girl stabbed, strangled, and drowned in the intercoastal waterway finally has a name.
Her name is Shelley Boggio. She's just 14 years old.
She was identified by a turquoise ring and a scar on her belly.
And I just remember thinking, this is like the last ring that she will have. She will never have that special ring from a boyfriend or, you know, a wedding band.
And my mother called me and said that I had to get home right away, that there had been a murder in the family. And I just remember shaking, upset, just shaking.
The Boggio family is your average Midwestern family. Frank Boggio and Sherry Boggio, they were both beauticians in Battle Creek, and they divorced. The husband brings the 3 daughters down to Florida.
Frank moved 3 girls and himself to Pinellas County, ironically for, quote-unquote, a better life.
Shelley was very kind, very sweet. She was actually very soft-spoken. Shelley could also make everybody in a room laugh, and that was a problem in school sometimes.
Shelley was a 14-year-old, clearly going on 30 in many ways.
Now, this is the most beautiful time of year in Florida, and as Sunday turns to night on May 5th, 1985, Shelley Boggio has no way of knowing that this is going to be her last Florida sunset. She's about to come across two men, Jack Piercy and his friend, who you're about to meet. His name is James Daly, and back then he was known as Jim, or Jimmy D.
Take a shot here.
Okay, just push a roll anyway. Thanks for coming to see me. But
Sure.
it's a long walk down that hallway, huh?
About a quarter of a mile.
I meet James Daly nearly 35 years later on Florida's death row. He's there for the murder of Shelley Boggio. Did you get many visitors?
Mary Kay, my ex-wife, she tries to make it up every week.
Daly's in pretty good shape for his age. He turned 74 in 2020, and if he is executed, he would be the oldest man the state of Florida has ever executed.
When I first met James Daly, he was remorseful about sort of the way he was living his life back then. The way he explained to me was, maybe I shouldn't have ever been hanging around guys like Jack Piercy. Maybe I shouldn't have ever even been in Florida. But I didn't kill that girl.
Any day now, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis could sign James Daly's death warrant. Now, after about 35 years behind bars, he's had a lot of time to consider where his life went wrong, because once upon a time, it was looking pretty good for James Daly.
Before death row, before winding up in Florida in 1985, James Daly was a family man, married with 2 children.
Jim and I met in Manhattan, Kansas in 1962. It was the summer before our junior year in high school. We dated for 4 years before we got married.
And then James Daly goes to war.
He went to Vietnam 3 times.
Oh, it was horrible. Got there right after Tet started in 1968. After every rocket attack, I'd have to go out and look for body parts. I just wasn't made for that. It affected me horribly.
I could tell when he'd come back from Vietnam that he was changing.
The Dalys divorce, and at this point, James Daly is 38 years old. He's down, he's out. He does not have a job, but he is drinking, and drinking a lot.
In 1985, Mr. Daly is what I call a drifter. And he met Jack Piercy randomly, I believe at a bar, and 2 of them just kind of hit it off.
So you were drinking buddies?
Yeah. And we got to know each other pretty well, I thought. Boy, was I mistaken. And we ended up, in the end, coming to Florida.
Piercy and Daly are now living in a 2-bedroom rented house in St. Petersburg, Florida, along with Piercy's pregnant girlfriend, whose name is Gail Bailey, and a friend from back in Kansas, whose name is Oza Dwayne Shaw. He's crashing on the couch. It's now Sunday, May 5th, 1985, and Jack Piercy, James Daly, and Jack's friend, Oza Shaw, are driving around St. Petersburg, Florida, drinking and partying when they run into Stacy and Shelley Boggio.
Jack saw Shelley and her sister, Stacy, and this other girl on the side of the road.
And they picked him up.
This wasn't just a random pickup. The Boggio twins knew James Daly and Jack Piercy, and even though the girls were only 14 years old, they'd hung out and partied with these guys before. They were not strangers.
We drove back to our place and smoked some dope and drank some beer.
This interview is with respect to case number 85-4387, which is a homicide case.
In our reporting, we've come across some of the recordings and interviews that the police, in their initial investigation of the crime, did with some of the last people who saw Shelley Boggio alive that night. One of these police interviews is Jack Piercy's then girlfriend, pregnant girlfriend, Gail Bailey.
They finally came home. They brought with them Shelley, her sister, and another blonde.
They got drunk. They smoked marijuana. They spent time together.
They were 14. They wanted to be grown-ups.
Now here's a detail you just can't make up. One of those girls tells detectives that they're watching an Alfred Hitchcock murder mystery on TV that night.
And then they decide to go back out.
Me and Shelley and the girls and Jack and Jim, we dropped the sister and the other blonde off at some apartment.
14-year-old Shelley Boggio, she's just in 7th grade, is on her own with the grown-ups, and the party moves to a nightclub, Jerry's Rock and Roll.
Jerry! Wow, spring break is here again. Our favorite time of year at Jerry's.
4 of us went to Jerry's, and we were sitting there, and we all had 3 drinks apiece.
This night is not going to end well.
What are you thinking? I could see this is going to go downhill really, really fast, and something bad is going to happen. Yeah.
It's the night of May 5th, 1985. After a night of drinking and smoking, 14-year-old Shelley Boggio is at a nightclub with 2 older men, Jack Piercy and James Daly.
So both of these guys are paying attention to Shelley, but Shelley is only interested in Jack Piercy.
James Daly says that he remembers the DJ might have even been playing the Lynyrd Skynyrd song, Give Me 3 Steps.
I asked Shelley if she wanted to dance. She said no.
But Daly says that when a slow song came on, Shelley was out on the dance floor with Jack Piercy. Piercy's girlfriend, Gail Bailey, is with them at the bar, getting angrier and angrier by the minute because of all the attention that Jack is paying to this 14-year-old girl.
Well, next thing I knew, they were on the other side of the bar dancing. Well, I didn't see this, and this dinner was happening.
Then we all went back home, and this was about midnight.
Now remember, the medical examiner would later determine that Shelley was murdered sometime between 1:30 and 3:30 a.m. So what's important to keep track of here is who is with Shelley as the night unfolds.
It's just after midnight, and the group goes back to the house, and here's who's there. It's Shelley, James Daly, Jack Piercy, Jack Piercy's girlfriend who's pregnant, Gail, and around this time, Jack Piercy says he's going to take Shelley home.
Gail went to the bathroom, and Jack and Shelley were leaving.
Now, there's another guest at this party, and he's an important player. His name is Oza Dwayne Shaw. He's Jack Piercy's buddy from back in Kansas. And when Jack says he's leaving to take Shelley home, Oza Shaw asks him for a ride to the payphone.
Asked him to give me a ride home, because I need to call my girlfriend.
No one knows this yet, but Shelley has just hours left to live, and she's just gotten into the car with Jack Piercy and Oza Dwayne Shaw. This is critical. Daly says he and Gail stayed back in the house.
Daly says, and this is really important, when Jack and Shelley left with Shaw, he went to his bedroom. Daly insists he did not go with them.
I went in my bedroom and went to sleep.
So, sure enough, Jack Piercy and Shelley have now stopped at that payphone so Oza can make his call.
Oza Dwayne Shaw, when he's on the payphone to his girlfriend back in Kansas, he says that in the car, Jack and Shelley get impatient and honk the horn at him.
That impatience honked and I told him to leave.
Oza Dwayne Shaw is at that payphone talking to his girlfriend Betty, who confirms that she heard that car horn.
In the background, I could hear a horn. And I said, "Who's that?" He said, "Jack and some girl."
We have the telephone records to confirm this call was placed. We know it was placed at 1:15 a.m.
Why is this so important? Because the most reliable witness in this case is the clock. The clock and what the clock suggests about who was with Shelley when she died and who was not with her.
Who was you in this time when you came back from making your phone call? In the living room, he was in bed, in the bedroom. I'm not sure.
Oza Shaw is one of the last people to see Shelley Boggio alive. And who does he say she's with? Not James Daly, Jack Piercy. Just Jack.
Oza Dwayne Shaw tells detectives that it's hours later when Jack Piercy returns to the house alone.
Mr. Piercy doesn't return to the house, according to Oza Shaw, until at least 4 a.m. And if Shelley died sometime between 1:30 and 3:30 a.m., then Mr. Daly couldn't have been there.
He couldn't have been there, his lawyers say, because he was back at the house.
Oza Shaw has been consistent from day one that the only people that went to that payphone were Oza Shaw, Jack Piercy, and Shelley Boggio, and that James Daly stayed back at the house. Period.
Jack came back and woke me up, said, I've got a couple of joints, let's go smoke them, and grab a 6-pack of beer out of the fridge. So I got up. He said he needed to talk to me about something.
Jumping out of bed in the middle of the night to go drink beer and smoke pot with your friend may sound odd to you and me, but Daly says this was the life they were leading. They were up at all hours, they didn't have steady jobs, no responsibilities.
So we drove out to Bel Air Causeway, and Jack said, the reason I got to talk to you is Gail wants you to leave. She wants to turn the bedroom into a nursery. And I told him that's no problem. I said, I'm ready to move on anyway.
But now here comes the moment that spells the first sign of trouble for James Daly, and it seems incriminating. After that early morning trip he took with Jack Piercy, he arrives back at the house, and his pants are wet.
In our wet jeans, he was wet down to his ankles.
Wet pants in a murder where the victim was found drowned in the water. It's damning, unless there is an innocent explanation.
We were throwing frisbee around, and it went out in the lagoon. Well, the lagoon's only about 2 feet deep. So I waded out there and got it, and my pants were wet. I've never denied ever that my pants were wet. I'm smart enough that if I was going to make up a story, I'd make up a better story than that. But that's the truth. That's exactly what happened.
The next morning, the bridge tender finds Shelley's body mutilated, and she's naked and she's dead.
As police swarm the crime scene just 5 miles away at Jack Piercy's house, it's a busy morning. Everybody there says that Jack has suddenly decided to take a road trip. I think people found it strange, though, that the very next day you headed down to Miami.
Well,
with Jack.
We got up next morning. Jack says, I want to go to Miami. I wanted to see Miami. I have never seen Miami. You know, you see it on TV. What was that show with Don Johnson?
Vice. Miami Vice.
Yeah. You know, you see all the colors and everything, and I just wanted to see it.
Oza Shaw and James Daly share a hotel room. They both check in using their real name, and then Jack Piercy checks in under an alias.
But for all his interest in Miami Vice, James Daly doesn't do much sightseeing. Just 24 hours later, he's gone.
Jack drove me to the bus station. I bought my ticket, got on a bus. I didn't think anything about it, you know. I was ready to move on.
James Daly got his stuff and went out to California.
Jack Piercy drove to Kansas by way of Colorado, and that's where he was ultimately picked up.
Mr. Piercy was arrested first, and he at that time gave statements, made admissions, and for the most part was putting the onus on James Daly as the main actor in this crime.
Every time you lie, then baby blue turns 2 shades green.
The first few stories were basically they were looking for 2 men who had been seen with this girl at one of the bars.
Identifying Shelley Boggio leads detectives to her twin sister, Stacy, who tells them the last time she saw Shelley alive, she was with Jack Piercy and James Daly.
That's how the investigation really started. Who she was with, who these guys were. So then the sheriff's office, mounted a search for these guys.
Florida detectives know that James Daly and Jack Piercy are from Kansas, so they ask police there to keep an eye out. And sure enough, 2 weeks after the murder, one of them, Jack Piercy, shows up in his hometown and is arrested.
I would advise you of your rights. Number one, you have the right to remain silent. Two, anything you say can and will be used against you in court of law.
The detectives in Kansas were very familiar with him. They knew him by name.
One of the Olathe, Kansas detectives you see questioning Jack Piercy is Joe Pruitt. He's retired now, but we reached out to him by phone.
We knew him in Olathe as what we call a frequent flyer. He'd been arrested numerous times.
Mr. Piercy had been arrested for batteries, assaults. I believe there was a terroristic threat against his girlfriend at the time.
He had been arrested by me at the request of the sheriff's department for a sexual assault that they were investigating. That charge was later dismissed.
Jack Piercy had been involved in a prior murder in Missouri.
He had actually been solicited to commit a murder.
5 years before Shelley Boggio's murder, Jack Piercy was hired to kill an elderly doctor. He was ready to do it with a hunting knife, but he backed out and someone else committed the murder.
He had a pretty lengthy criminal history, at least as far as charges.
Made him comfortable, gave him the opportunity to smoke, and then he started talking and we started asking questions.
We talked earlier this morning, you told me that you didn't kill that girl. Is that right? That's right. But they are going to want to know what your involvement is. At the very least, you're a witness. Is that right? You better be shooting straight, because when they catch you in a lie, Jack, you're gonna get banged.
Jack Piercy in the interrogation room, just 2 weeks after the murder, seems so relaxed. He's blowing smoke rings, he's fiddling with his pocket knife, and you have to wonder what's going through his mind.
I really can't comment on Mr. Piercy other than, his social gyro was off the gimbals. Let me tell you, he was a different cat.
Jimmy drove for a while, and I passed out. And then the next time I noticed when he was pushing on me, waking me up, telling me to drive.
He starts pointing the finger at James Daly.
Jack Piercy took every opportunity to throw Mr. Daly under the bus.
Piercy says he's in the car, he's drunk, passed out, but he's awake to hear screaming. And he sees Jimmy Daly coming back. His pants are wet.
When he heard some commotion, Piercy got out.
And he knows at that point what happened, and he knew that Jimmy Daly had stabbed this girl. He tried to put it all on Daly. He was in the vehicle when it occurred. I don't buy it.
You told me. He did. I'm convinced right damn sure it is. Well, I didn't watch him do it, but yeah, I'm pretty damn sure. Did you hear her yell? Sometimes I thought I heard him arguing or something, but I just, I don't have conscience or whatever, Why are you trying to cover all day long? I'm not trying to cover for him. I wouldn't be sitting here saying what I'm saying if I was trying to cover for him. But if I didn't see him do something, if I had seen somebody doing something like that, I would have done something. That's why. Why do you think Jimmy killed her? I don't know. Did he rape her? I don't know if he did or not. How many times did he stab her? I don't know. What's the motive? Here's this little girl that sounds like this. I can't tell you the reason. It just freaked me out, I guess I really didn't even want to know what happened. I was just scared, so I just wanted to get out of there. I went back home and I packed my suitcase and hit the road. Well, if I believe you, and I think I can believe you, why didn't you pick up the phone, call 911 and tell them about it? Because I was scared. Now, what I want to know is this. Did you have sex with that little girl that day?
It's always good to be the first person in the door at the police station and certainly at the prosecutor's office. You're going to get a better deal. You're going to be able to sort of set the stage as to what happened.
November 6, 1985, 6 months to the day after the murder, James Daly's arrested in California.
I wonder, did James Daly do it? I think that's the first thing in my mind. Where's the evidence that really puts him at the scene?
Then a new witness comes along with a devastating story.
He stabbed her, he continued to stab her, she wouldn't die. It was, I think, the quote, powerful stuff, if it's believed.
But will the jury buy it? Six months after the murder of Shelley Boggio, James Daly is arrested far away in Monterey, California.
James Daly says that after leaving Florida, he had first gone to Arizona, where he met a guy who offered him a job in California.
He was looking for somebody to go to California with him to help him remodel his restaurant. And I'd done a lot of cabinet work and stuff, so I said, hey, I'm looking for a job. And he said, well, you want to go to California? And I said, heck yeah.
But detectives in Florida track him down in California, some 2,800 miles away.
When you were first arrested and you felt those cuffs binding your wrists, what was that like?
I just said, man, you guys got the wrong guy.
Can you see how it seems suspicious that so shortly after the murder, first you go to Miami and then you go clear across the country to California?
Yeah, but if I was gonna hide, don't you think I'd use a different name? I'm not hiding from anybody. I didn't know I was supposed to be hiding anybody.
They had to extradite him back to Florida.
James Daly and Jack Piercy, who'd been arrested months earlier, are now both locked up at the Pinellas County Jail to wait trial.
In the end, Jack Piercy fails to convince prosecutors that he's an innocent bystander and that James Daly is the sole killer of Shelley Boggio.
They are both indicted. Piercy is tried first.
Jack Piercy went to trial in November of 1986, right before Thanksgiving.
Our defense of Mr. Piercy was the other guy did it. Piercy was along for the ride, and Daly was the guy that did everything.
But that defense strategy does not work, and Piercy is convicted. The jury convicts Piercy quickly, but then takes mercy on him, recommending life in prison instead of a death sentence. The following summer, it's James Daly's turn to stand trial.
He didn't have a history of violence against women. He didn't have a motive. There was no eyewitnesses placing him at the scene. There was just no evidence.
The state's theory was that Jack, Jim Daly, and Shelley left, and that they drove around, then they went to the waterside.
And that was when they excuse me. It was at that point where evidently I guess they felt they had enough of Shelley, and they stabbed her. She was put underwater, she was drowned, dead.
The jury never heard James Daly's explanation for having those wet pants, that he'd been playing frisbee and chased the disc into the water.
James Daly never took the witness stand. He sat there looking like a lawyer for the entire week and said nothing. No emotion, no outburst of, I didn't do that.
I don't know. My attorney at the trial said that he didn't want me to testify because he couldn't believe that we played frisbee.
Your attorney advised you not to testify?
Yeah. I wanted to testify. I wanted to get up and tell what really happened.
I think he should have taken the stand. I would have loved to hear what he had to say.
As prosecutors wrap up their case, among their last witnesses are a trio of jailhouse informants. Now, we've all seen this movie before, right? Dramatic testimony from a jailhouse witness claiming he heard a confession.
Jailhouse snitches, they've been used since the beginning of time. Detectives can place a defendant in the same jail cell with the snitch. It's legal, it's fine. They become friends, and people really do talk.
In Daly's case, 2 snitches testify he made incriminating statements, but then the third inmate takes the stand, and he's a showstopper. His name is Paul Skalnick, and James Daly's lawyers say his testimony sealed Daly's fate.
Skalnick testifies that Daly confessed to him in jail. He says that Daly told him he he stabbed Shelley, that she was staring up at him, and she was screaming, and she would not die.
He stabbed her, he continued to stab her, she wouldn't die. Was, I think, the quote.
What was your reaction when you heard Skolnick on the stand testifying against you?
Well, other than disbelief, other than trying to tell my attorney that never happened, it was just sickening.
You never confessed to him, you say?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That was actually the only information that we ever got that supposedly came from James Daly, because he never took the witness stand. So everything, if we were to believe what the snitches were saying, that was the only way we could hear James Daly's voice. So it was very interesting listening to the snitches.
Powerful stuff, if it's believed, and the jury obviously decided to believe it.
James Daly is convicted, and he's sentenced to die in the electric chair.
You could hear kind of cheering in the back. I don't know how anybody could cheer at a death sentence.
Did you murder Shelley Boggio?
No, I did not. I had nothing to do with her death whatsoever. Have I felt guilt from it? Absolutely.
Why would you feel guilty if you didn't
I
do
wished
anything?
I could have done something to stop it. I didn't know Piercy's record. I thought he was taking her home.
James Daly's word against Paul Skolnick. Who to believe?
I wouldn't believe him as far as I could throw him.
Turns out there was something the jury didn't know about that jailhouse snitch, Paul Skolnick.
I'm pretty familiar with Paul Skolnick. I asked him how many times he'd actually been listed as a witness by the state, and he told me 28 times.
We thought it would help to know more about Skolnick. Maybe even talk to him. I just left the prison here, the Florida State Prison, interviewing Jim Daly. He said the reason he's on death row is because you lied.
It has been more than 3 decades since a teenager was brutally murdered in Florida. Now her killer may finally be executed.
Man, you guys got the wrong guy.
The evidence that they had was the word of a fraud and a con man.
It's terrible that we're willing to put someone to death based on the word of Paul Skolnick.
He begins a new role as a jailhouse snitch.
Skolnick was a master manipulator.
He told her that he was CEO of Southwest Airlines, working for the CIA, as an informant for the FBI.
This is a guy who was a professional con man at this point, and you knew it. And you knew it.
The horrible things he did still live in my nightmares.
So not only are you taking the word of a con man, you're taking the word of a child molester.
The clock is ticking very loudly for James Daly.
Paul Skolnick testified in 24 cases. 24.
And this is the man who you used to put Daly behind bars.
We believe one of the key factors